Why is the ATF trying to say a pistol's no longer a pistol? If you use a pistol brace, it's a short barrel rifle.
These pistol braces make a normal, law-abiding person suddenly a violent criminal is bizarre.
Thousands of weapons that got stolen and then recirculated because there was no proof of them being sold anywhere.
That a firearm equipped with a stabilizing brace was, quote, would not be subject to the National Firearms Act.
Partisans at the ATF have really run amok, infringing and trampling on the Second Amendment.
Since we know that the ATF obtained the sales records for those people who purchased those 80 kits through stamps.com, the likelihood of getting a knock on the door has increased slightly as a result of everything that is currently going on with the ATF. With that in mind, what should you do if the ATF arrives at your door? Let's discuss that. Disclaimer: it's important to emphasize that the information provided here is not legal advice. If you require specific legal guidance related to the Second Amendment or any legal matter, it's strongly recommended to consult with a qualified attorney who specializes in Second Amendment law.
The pistol brace also does not help the shooter load the pistol more quickly.
Certain bump stock devices, like the one used in Las Vegas, are illegal under current law.
The comments and opinions expressed here are based on information gathered from reliable sources. While this topic may have been discussed in previous videos, the importance of seeking professional legal advice cannot be overstated when dealing with legal issues. Recently, we received an email from the Firearms Policy Coalition. If you're not already a member, we recommend joining them, as they are actively involved in advocating for Second Amendment rights. In their email, they provided some guidance on what to do if law enforcement comes to your door. Key steps when law enforcement arrives at your door. When confronted with a situation where law enforcement, such as the ATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, appears at your doorstep, it's crucial to be well informed about your rights and how to assert them effectively. These encounters can be daunting, overbrimming with uncertainty and anxiety. However, understanding your rights and taking specific steps can help protect your interests and preserve your legal standing. Two fundamental steps stand out when facing such situations. Number 1. Exercise your right to remain silent and request legal representation. The principle of remaining silent when dealing with law enforcement cannot be overstated. Attempting to talk your way out of a situation, especially when law enforcement officers have already made up their minds, can not be only challenging, but potentially counterproductive. This can be a pivotal moment where what you say or don't say can significantly impact the outcome.
But once law enforcement's inside, because you've consented, that's going to change the game substantially.
It's mounted to the rear of the pistol. It's designed to anchor the pistol to the shooter's arm.
Your right to remain silent is a powerful tool that should be used to your advantage. Under the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution, you have the right to remain silent to avoid self-incrimination. This means that you are not obligated to engage in conversation with law enforcement officers. Instead, assertively but calmly inform them that you wish to have a lawyer present before providing any statements. Your right to legal representation is a bedrock of the American legal system and is enshrined in the Sixth Amendment. You should explicitly state that you are invoking your right to remain silent and your right to an attorney. Following this declaration, promptly contact your lawyer. Let them know the situation, including why law enforcement is present and any relevant details. Once your attorney is informed, allow them to communicate on your behalf. Lawyers are well versed in the intricacies of the law, and they can engage with law enforcement in a manner that ensures your rights are protected and that you don't inadvertently incriminate yourself. This step is crucial because law enforcement officers may employ various tactics during their interactions. They may ask probing questions or seek to elicit statements that could potentially be used against you later. By having a lawyer act as your intermediary, you significantly reduce the risk of saying something that might harm your legal standing.
Extraordinarily limited, they're only allowed to search a particular safe. Again, those details ought to be on that cover sheet that they give you.
Banning a class of weapons that you don't like the look of, not because of functionality.
Number 2. Do not consent to voluntary searches. Another pivotal aspect of asserting your rights when law enforcement comes to your door is to exercise your Fourth Amendment rights regarding searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures by law enforcement and requires warrants to be issued based on probable cause. If someone, particularly law enforcement, arrives at your door and requests your permission to search your home based on information they claim to have, it's vital not to grant consent unless they can produce a valid warrant. Consent to search is a powerful tool that can be used by law enforcement to circumvent the Fourth Amendment's protections. It's essential to understand that law enforcement does not possess the authority to search your home without your consent or a valid warrant issued by a judge.
It wasn't a fully automatic machine gun that was banned in 1986. It wasn't the bump stock.
Partisans at the ATF have really run amok, infringing and trampling on the Second Amendment.
In cases where they do possess a warrant, they won't ask for your permission. They will execute the warrant. In such instances, they will inform you of their intention to conduct the search. However, if law enforcement enters your property without a warrant or your explicit consent, you may have grounds for legal action. This could involve challenging the legality of the search and any items seized during the process. Protecting your Fourth Amendment rights is crucial because it is a cornerstone of American civil liberties. It ensures that individuals are shielded from unreasonable intrusions into their privacy and property by law enforcement. It's essential to recognize that law enforcement officers have specific objectives when they initiate such interactions. Their priorities may not necessarily align with their rights and interests, making it even more crucial to know and assert your rights effectively. By adhering to these fundamental legal procedures, exercising your right to remain silent, requesting legal representation, and refusing to consent to voluntary searches, you can protect your rights and safeguard your legal standing when faced with law enforcement interactions.
The National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, NIBIN, allows us to connect disparate shootings through ballistic evidence.
That a firearm equipped with a stabilizing brace was, quote, would not be subject to the National Firearms Act.
Your attorney will play a pivotal role in ensuring that your rights are respected throughout the process and can help you navigate these often challenging situations effectively. Interacting with law enforcement. Know your rights and stay informed. Interactions with law enforcement can be fraught with uncertainty and anxiety, yet they are a fundamental part of living in a society governed by laws. It is essential to understand how to navigate such encounters while safeguarding your rights and maintaining a respectful demeanor. In this context, recognizing the importance of both upholding the law and protecting your rights is paramount. Law enforcement officers often find themselves in various situations, from routine traffic stops to more complex investigations. While their role is to enforce the law, it's crucial to remember that many officers are genuinely friendly individuals, committed to their duty and ensuring public safety. In situations where law enforcement officers display friendliness and professionalism, reciprocating with courtesy is not only advisable, but fosters a constructive atmosphere for the interaction. The key is to approach these interactions with a degree of courtesy and professionalism akin to how you would interact with a neighbor or colleague. There's no need to adopt a persona that you're not comfortable with. Instead, treat law enforcement officers with the same respect and civility you would extend to anyone else.
Raise your rights, make it clear that you're not going to obstruct the warrant, but you're not consenting to any searches or seizures or anything of the sort.
Thousands of weapons that got stolen and then recirculated because there was no proof of them being sold anywhere.
One of the critical components of these interactions is maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, even when faced with challenging circumstances. While it can be difficult, particularly if you feel that your rights are being infringed upon, reacting with aggression or hostility can often exacerbate the situation. Staying calm and professional can help ensure that the interaction proceeds more smoothly. However, amid the importance of maintaining civility, it's equally vital to be aware of your rights and to ensure that law enforcement respects those rights. American citizens have certain constitutional protections, and it's essential to assert these rights when necessary to prevent any overstepping of boundaries. Supporting law enforcement and maintaining a civil society is commendable, but it should not come at the cost of relinquishing your rights. As American citizens, It's incumbent upon us to safeguard our rights and ensure that interactions with law enforcement occur within the bounds of the law and the Constitution. Achieving this balance is essential in preserving the principles upon which the United States was founded. Here are a couple of additional points to consider. Protecting your home. You don't have to open your door to law enforcement if they do not possess a valid warrant. It's within your rights to communicate with them through the door or other means. If they wish to speak with you, you can inform them that you'll only do so in the presence of a lawyer. Your home is your sanctuary, and you have the right to protect your privacy, especially if there's no legal justification for them to enter. Exercising your right to legal representation. You also don't have to step outside of your home to engage with law enforcement. Whether you choose to communicate through the door or in person, you can still assert your right to have a lawyer present during the conversation. This is a fundamental right that ensures that you have legal counsel to guide you through any potential legal issues that may arise during the interaction. Additionally, it's essential to be aware of regional variations in firearm laws, particularly in states like California, where firearm regulations can be intricate. In some cases, individuals have opted to separate the upper and lower parts of firearms equipped with certain features to ensure compliance with the law. This approach aims to mitigate potential legal issues. For instance, if you possess a firearm with a brace and a lower receiver, separating the upper and lower parts can alter the firearm's classification, ensuring compliance with relevant regulations. Specifically, if the upper part has a 16-inch barrel, it might be classified differently under the National Firearms Act, NFA, regardless of whether it has a brace or a stock. However, it's crucial to approach such modifications with caution and consult legal experts to ensure full compliance with local firearm laws.
These pistol braces make a normal, law-abiding person suddenly a violent criminal is bizarre.
They are, in every state that I'm familiar with, allowed to lie to you about a lot of things. You may even say the vast majority of.
Why is the ATF trying to say a pistol's no longer a pistol? If you use a pistol brace, it's a short barrel rifle.
The intricacies of firearm regulation can vary significantly from one jurisdiction to another, making it essential to stay informed and make well-informed decisions to protect your rights while adhering to the law. In conclusion, interaction with law enforcement are an integral part of living in a society governed by laws. While it's essential to approach these interactions with courtesy and professionalism, it's equally vital to safeguard your rights and assert them when necessary. Balancing support for law enforcement with a commitment to preserving individual rights is essential in upholding the principles upon which the United States was founded. Additionally, staying informed about regional firearm laws and consulting legal experts when needed is crucial to navigate the complex landscape of firearm regulations effectively. Navigating firearm configurations and ATF actions. Firearm configurations have long been a topic of discussion and debate within the firearms community. The way a firearm is configured, including its components and accessories, can have significant legal implications. One crucial factor to consider when it comes to firearm configurations is intent. Let's take an example to illustrate the importance of intent in firearm configurations. Suppose you plan to attach a full-length upper receiver to a lower receiver. In this scenario, you could clarify that the current setup serves as a different purpose than what it might appear. Intent matters in such cases, because it can offer a degree of flexibility and protection. When firearm components are not connected, proving intent becomes challenging. Separating the upper and lower parts of a firearm can be a practical step if you have concerns about potential searches or legal issues. However, the recent actions by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, have added a layer of complexity and concern to the firearm landscape. Understanding the ATF's objectives is essential to grasp the implication of their decisions.
I think what I said was that there should be an assault weapons ban.
You said that all assault weapons should be banned. Is that a
legislative body? They get to make those determinations.
But
The ATF recently made a significant decision to reclassify certain firearms under the jurisdiction of the National Firearms Act, NFA. Simultaneously, they eliminated the $200 tax stamp requirement for existing owners of these firearms. On the surface, this might seem like a move to simply regulation or reduce financial burdens on firearm owners. However, a closer examination reveals a more nuanced and potentially troubling agenda. The primary concern arising from the ATF's action is the possibility of creating a de facto registry for firearm braces. This concept of a registry involves compiling a substantial database that includes names, contact information, and potentially more details about individuals who own or have purchased firearm braces. The implications of such a registry are significant and raise numerous red flags, particularly when it comes to privacy and civil liberties. In practical terms, the ATF seems determined to gather a substantial amount of information from firearm brace owners. This determination suggests that they are willing to invest significant effort and resources to achieve their goal. While their action may currently revolve around specific products like braces, there's a genuine concern that similar approaches could extend to other firearm accessories in the future. Understanding the consequences of a firearm brace registry is crucial. Such a registry would not only compromise the privacy of firearm owners, but also potentially expose them to additional regulations and restrictions. Once a firearm is registered under the NFA, it becomes subject to a more comprehensive set of rules. For instance, adding a stock to a registered firearm is allowed, but it's imperative to adhere to NFA regulations diligently to avoid legal issues. Reflecting on recent incidents, such as the Polymer 80 case, underscores the importance of staying informed about evolving firearm regulations and being cautious to avoid potential legal consequences. The Polymer 80 case, in particular, raised significant concerns about the intentions of law enforcement agencies and their approach to regulating firearm accessories. In that case, one of the striking aspects was the absence of any arrests or charges against individuals involved in the production of ownership of Polymer 80 products. Instead, law enforcement's primary focus seemed to be on the seizure of items and records. This raised suspicions about their true objectives and hinted at the possibility of seeking customer records. The suspicion that emerged during the Polymer 80 case turned out to be accurate. It became evident that law enforcement agencies were indeed seeking customer records and related information from Polymer 80. This revelation added a new layer of complexity and concern to the situation, particularly because it hinted at a broader and potentially more troubling objective. In response to these challenges, advocacy organizations like the Firearms Policy Coalition, FPC, have played a pivotal role in defending Second Amendment rights and challenging questionable government actions. These organizations rely on the support of their members and donors to continue their missions effectively. Legal battles, court proceedings, and the operations of non-profit organizations come with substantial costs. Therefore, financial support is indispensable for organizations like the FPC to continue addressing the challenges and threats faced by gun owners and enthusiasts across the country. Advocating for Second Amendment rights can be an expensive and demanding endeavor, especially when confronted with legal challenges and government actions that may infringe upon those rights. In conclusion, the recent developments surrounding firearm configurations, ATF actions, and the Polymer 80 case have raised legitimate concerns about the potential creation of a firearm brace registry. Understanding the importance of intent in firearm configurations and the potential consequences of such a registry is vital for firearm owners and enthusiasts. Staying informed about evolving firearm regulations, exercising caution to avoid legal issues, and supporting advocacy organizations like the Firearms Policy Coalition are essential steps in safeguarding Second Amendment rights. These rights are fundamental to many Americans, and it is crucial to remain vigilant and engaged in the ongoing discussions and debates surrounding firearm regulation and their impact on civil liberties and privacy. Privacy and property rights. Privacy and property rights are foundational principles in the realm of individual liberties and legal protections. They safeguard an individual's autonomy, security, and control over their personal space and belongings. Privacy rights encompass the individual's right to keep personal information, actions, and matters confidential. This extends to protecting one's home and unwarranted intrusion by government authorities or others. The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution specifically guards against unreasonable searches and seizures, emphasizing the importance of obtaining warrants based on probable cause before entering a person's property or conducting searches. Privacy rights also extend to personal data, communications, and individual choices, reinforcing the idea that individuals have the autonomy to make decisions free from unwarranted interference. Property rights establish an individual's ownership and control over tangible assets such as land, homes, possessions, and personal effects. These rights are not only a cornerstone of individual freedom, but also a fundamental aspect of economic systems. Property rights ensure that individuals can use, enjoy, and transfer their property as they see fit, provided they do not infringe upon the rights of others. These rights protect against unlawful confiscation or seizure, reinforcing the principle that individuals are entitled to the fruits of their labor and investments. Concerns regarding the Polymer 80 case and firearm brace registry. In the realm of firearms regulation and Second Amendment rights, recent events surrounding the Polymer 80 case have raised significant concerns and shed light on what may believe to be a broader effort by government authorities. The operation carried out by law enforcement in this case seemed less like a targeted action and more like a fishing expedition. This characterization is grounded in several key observations and the ultimate objective that has emerged from the unfolding events. First and foremost, it's crucial to highlight that during the Polymer 80 case, no arrests or charges were filed against individuals. Instead, law enforcement's primary focus appeared to be the seizure of items and records. This pattern of behavior ignited suspicions that ran deeper than the surface of a standard investigation. The question that inevitably emerged was, what exactly were they after? As events unfolded, these suspicions were confirmed. It became evident that the primary target was not the mere collection of firearms or parts, but rather the acquisition of customer records. In essence, law enforcement was looking for information that would allow them to trace the owners of Polymer 80 products, including firearm frames and components. This revelation brought about a troubling realization. The authorities were building what may describe as a de facto registry for firearm braces. The implications of this registry are significant. It signifies an effort by government agencies, particularly the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, to compile a comprehensive database containing the names, numbers, and addresses of individuals who possess these firearms accessories. The intent behind such a registry raises a myriad of concerns, ranging from individual piracy rights to potential misuse of the collected data. To understand the gravity of this situation, it's essential to recognize the commitment and resources that the authorities are likely to invest in this endeavor. The authorities seem determined and resolute in their pursuit of this information. This determination is expected to translate into significant efforts to gather as much data as possible. Consequently, individuals who own Polymer 80 products may find themselves subject to increased scrutiny and potential legal action. The information shared in this discussion draws from a communication by the Firearms Policy Coalition, FPC, an organization at the forefront of defending Second Amendment rights and fighting against overreaching government actions.
The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, Mr. President, as you well know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real quick, I find it interesting that my colleagues have no problem with the ATF going outside its boundaries.
Gives private citizens the right to possess a firearm, including a pistol.
Their email served as a clarion call to those concerned about preserving their rights and safeguarding their privacy. Membership in the FPC is highly encouraged for those who haven't already joined. The organization plays a pivotal role in challenging and pushing back against such issues through legal means. However, it's important to recognize that these legal battles come at a cost. Legal proceedings, court cases, and the operation of non-profit organizations like the FPC require substantial financial resources. This is where individual contributions and donations become indispensable. Supporting organizations like the FPC financially is crucial for sustaining the fight for Second Amendment rights and privacy in an era where such rights face increasing scrutiny and potential infringement. The battles fought in courts and legislative arenas are not only costly, but also demanding. They necessitate the resources to navigate complex legal terrain and the determination to stand up for fundamental rights. In conclusion, the Polymer 80 case and the subsequent revelations have raised critical questions about the government's objectives and the potential creation of a de facto registry. These concerns underscore the importance of supporting organizations like the Firearms Policy Coalition and contributing to their efforts financially. It is a collective responsibility to protect Second Amendment rights and individual privacy, and financial support is a vital aspect of this ongoing battle. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.